Cherries, Emily with you today, and for this month's Technique Tuesday, we're focusing on chipboard. So today I have this beautiful Minte Chippies decor, that's their Halloween set, and I'm going to be ink blending on the actual chipboard itself. So here I'm starting out with the pumpkins, and I'm just doing it before I even pop them out of place here. So I have some perfect color, the carved pumpkin distress oxide from Tim Holtz, and then I have some rustic wilderness here I'm going to use on these stems and leaves. So I'm just ink blending. I figured it would be easier than painting, and obviously no dry time, which I felt was really nice. And so here's my pumpkin. The little vine didn't pop out, but that's okay. So I'm going to keep going here, and I really like this house. I'm just picking out elements of the chipboard that I really like. So I have some rustic wilderness, and then here I'm using just some lost shadow on the gravestones here. And I really like doing the ink blending on the chipboard because then I don't have to hold it down, and it's just a little bit easier. So there I'm using some forest moss to add a little bit of earthy green, more of a color to the grass there, and I'm using some Villainous Potion here on the house. I thought the purple would look nice, a little bit of a different color. And then I have some brown here for the roof. So here I'm just going to carefully take this out. You can also cut the chipboard, but here is my house, and I have some pumpkins. And here is this chipboard tag I actually found in our stash. I was going to do a card, but I felt more inspired to make a Halloween tag. And since this tag is also chipboard, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to this as well. I'm just starting with a layer of just regular black paint. I love using chipboard type stuff for mixed media projects. So I'm just going to do a little bit of mixed media on here. I really wanted the background obviously to be black because of, Halloween, and just kind of wanted to look like nighttime and have a nice scene on each side. So there's the front and back dried. So here I'm just grabbing some distress mica spray, and I'm just going to spray it to give it more of an antique look. Look at how cool that is. And I'm purposefully letting it drag off the edge there. So just doing both sides, and while I have my tag out, I'm going to grab the purple mica spray. I just love these sprays. They have that shimmer to them because of that mica, and I just feel like they add such a unique pop of color, even with the black. So I also have the newest Tim Holtz stencils here as Halloween ones, and just gonna make sure my tag is completely dry before using the stencil. So I'm using this one here, and I have the black grit paste. This black is so cool. It goes on matte, and it just adds such a nice texture. Definitely something I thought would be cool for Halloween. Look how cool that looks. And here I have Simon Hurley's newest lunar paste, the copper, and I'm using a technique here. I'm just going to do the corners where we're going to bubble the texture paste. So I don't know if you saw this, but Rachel and I did 10 different texture paste techniques, and this was one of them, and look how cool that is. Check it out. Look how it's bubbling. So it just adds this really cool effect, and I thought this would be such a fun thing for a Halloween tag or any Halloween idea, really. And it's helping my black stuff dry as well, the heat dryer. So here's the back of it. I did some more on the back corner there, and there's the front. Front and back doesn't really matter which side since it's a tag. And I'm going to show you another technique with your chipboard. So here I have my regular embossing pad, and I'm just putting it all over my chipboard here. I have some silver. I'm purposefully not putting it on completely well, but here we go. I did want to show you. Look how cool this is. You can emboss your chipboard. So there's the silver, but I did miss a few spots on purpose because I wanted to show you can redo it. So with chipboard, rather than with like a stamp, you can always redo the embossing. So I think this is a great thing if you're new to embossing and using embossing powder. It's a great technique because you can just do it over and over till you get the correct look that you want. So check out how this silver just turns to shine. And what a cool effect is that? And it is warm, so you want to let it sit for a second, but here we go. Look how pretty that is. So look at that shine, and then we're going to be able to put that on our tag here, and it's just really going to pop a little bit more. So that looks great. I'm thinking I like the pumpkins on this side with the web here, and I might do the house on the other side. I don't know yet, so we'll see what I want to do where. So I'm just going to pop out, obviously, for the web, I want a spider So I'm popping out one of these spiders here. These little guys are actually really cute. The spiders are really cute and the pumpkins are a little spooky scary, but the whole set is just cute and there's a lot to work with there. So I'm just using some villainous potion on the spider here, but I felt like his eyes, you couldn't really see behind there, so just trying to see if I can give him a background. And the black looks nice, but I felt like it was a little too dark. So I'm just looking here. The white, I think, is what I'm going to go with. So I'm just grabbing some white, and you could do this with the pumpkins as well, but I ended up not needing to just because my background's all black here and you could see their eyes quite well. So here I'm just trimming down my circle to be able to be behind my spider, and I'm going to just glue this on like you normally would. It's just a normal piece of white paper. And if you wanted that a different color, you could definitely, use a different color. I just chose white. I felt like it made the spider pop a little more. So that looks good. So I think I like the pumpkins on here with the spider. And you notice the chipboard too has those little edges where it comes off. So I just trim those off. If you have a little sander, you could use that as well. But you can just trim it. It's really easy to cut. So here I am just putting a cherry dot. I cut it in half on one of the pumpkins, and I'm gluing down my first pumpkin, and I do like to hold it down when I'm gluing to mixed media. You want to make sure it's sticking really well, especially chipboard on chipboard. So just like to make sure to hold it there for a little bit. So now I'm going to work on my spider web and do the same exact thing. And I'm just using some Nuvo to glue that down, and I did accidentally drop it, so just trying to clean up the glue, but that'll dry clear. And so here I put a heavy weight on top of there to let it dry. So look how nicely that dried, because I wanted the spider web to be perfectly on there, and it actually deflated my bubble on the back a little, so just a note for that. And yep, I'm just trimming off the edges of the spider web here, but I don't want them all trimmed off because I kind of like the look of it, and I'm okay with it being overhang a little bit. So putting the spider on with the cherry dot, and I like that. I don't know if I'm done with that side yet, but I like that, the way it looks. So now I'm going to work with my house here, and I like this bat I have, but I sprayed it a little too much with the mica spray, so I'm just doing another bat in purple. So now I'm going to grab the stamp set from Tim Holtz. This is his newest Halloween one, and I really like this Boo to You, and I felt like the grass at the bottom of the house had enough space there, and obviously I wanted to cut out a couple ghosts from the chipboard, the Minte chippies. So I also have some Lost Shadow, and I'm just going to put a very small amount on my ghosts here. It's a really subtle look, but it does add a little bit of dimension to the ghosts. And now I'm going to stamp my saying down on the house. So I'm using my Catherine Pooler mini midnight pad, and I'm just putting that on the Boo to You and pressing it down. Perfect. That looked awesome. I'm so happy that turned out well. And I think I'm ready to glue this down onto the bottom of this side of the gift tag, because I know I really like that there. And again, just pressing it down, making sure it stays well. That looks good. So I just trimmed the edges of my house here, and since I have my stamp set out, I really wanted to do a saying on the other side as well. So I found some leftover chipboard over here, and I'm just trimming that off. And I like this A Haunting We Will Go saying. So I'm going to try to fit this on this scrap chipboard here. So here I have my villainous potion, and I'm stamping it down. Nice, that look turned out good too. So I'm just going to trim the edges and kind of rough trimming, because it's Halloween, and I just like the look of it looking kind of spooky, scary. I am going to add a little bit of Lost Shadow onto the background there. Again, it's a very subtle look, but it just adds a little bit of something, a little bit of spookiness. I think I'm going to put that down with a little bit of foam tape, so that looks good there. I like that side. Okay, so now back to my other side. I feel like I'm missing something, so I decided I wanted to create a moon. So here I'm just cutting out a circle, and this is actually also a chipboard as well. So I have some Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide, and I'm just inking up my moon here and some plain water, and I'm just going to spray it. And you can see there the effect it has where the color spreads away from itself. And that's the distressing, and it just makes it look just like a moon. So I'm also spraying some of the mica on there just because I love it with the shine, and I felt like it would look pretty for the moon. And yeah, I think this is what I needed here. So I really like this moon, I like the ghost, and I like my bat. I think I do want to add a couple more bats. I'm not sure about this one, as that purple is a little dark. So I did pop out a couple two other bats, and I'm using some Distress Oxide Black Soot here and just ink blending on those bats as well. So now I feel like I'm ready to glue my moon down. I know that I want him in the background, and I know I want the bat and ghost on top of him, so same idea, just pressing it down, making sure everything sticks, and just kind of going with my ghosts and bats and seeing where I like everything. I like that one little ghost there, and I like this big ghost next to him. I'm going to add some glue on the one side with the cherry dot on the other, and I do want to actually make him a little more slanted. There we go. So he looks a little more ghostly. So just adding the purple bat now, and I think this other third bat's a little too clustered, so I'm going to put him down on the left side here. Even though it's on the black, you can still see it. It looks really good. So this is looking good. I really like this. I'm just going to finish it off with some honeybee gems, which I think are the perfect last minute embellishment. And on this side, I'm using some purple and black gems here. So I'm just going along in some of the spaces and just adding where I feel like it would look pretty, or just add a little bit of extra. Really no rhyme or reason. Oops, there's one right there in my house. I'm gonna just move it over here. Okay, so that looks good. And then on this side, I'm gonna do some orange gems and maybe some greens, since it's kind of my theme on this side, and maybe a little bit of black. So that looks good. Now I have my green felt ribbon, which I felt matched my pumpkin stems, and just tying that up, and it looks nice and curly, just like my pumpkins. And this is my Halloween gift tag, made out of pretty much all chipboard. And those are the different chipboard techniques, you guys. I hope you love this and have a happy October. Thanks for watching.